Good evening and welcome to this psychology clinic session. I understand that you're looking for some in-depth analysis on who you are as a person, and we're able to provide that today by using the Inkblot psychology test to help you understand what your three main character traits are and perhaps how to deal with your inner demons. I understand that you have trouble sleeping. You have a lot of stress and anxiety. You really don't know who you are, and that's why we're going to try and help you today. So first of all, I would like to take a few details or just to confirm. Can you please confirm your full name for me? Alright, and your first line of address. Okay. Your zip code or postcode. And your date of birth. Okay. Great. So have you ever had one of these tests before? No. Okay, so I'll show you. This here is the Inkblot test. It's the Redstone Inkblot test. And what we'll be doing is I'm going to be showing you 12 different cards. Each card has a very vivid image on it. And you have to look at them carefully and work out what three cards really stand out to you, what three mean the most. Once we've determined what three cards mean the most, we will then have a proper look and you can move the cards whatever direction you want, and we will then work out what you can see. We then have a detailed description of your personality, which is the core part that is decided when you choose those three cards, and then you have a secondary part which is dependent on what you can see in the image. Okay, great. So I just want you to get really comfortable, just sit back and relax. You will absolutely enjoy the process, and then we can work towards a solution for you. So we're just going to go one by one. So this is number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. Number 9. Number 10. Number 11. And number 12. So I'm going to show you them again in reverse. A bit quicker this time, okay? Number 12. Number 11. Number 10. Number 9. Number 8. Number 7. Number 6. Number 5. Number 4. Number 3. Number 2. And number 1. Have you made a decision on what 3 stand out to you the most? What 3 just, I don't know, felt like they meant something to you, or I don't know. Okay, I'll get that one out. So, yeah, this one. Yeah, that's number 5. Okay. Yeah. Find it. The red one. No, this one. Yes. Okay. That's number 10. The other red one. What do you mean? This one. Yes. Okay. That's number 2. Okay. So we'll start with number 2. I want you to really have a good look on this. So have a look and see what can you see this way. Perhaps if I turn it. What can you see? Okay. Okay. So you feel like you can see a vulva or pelvis. Birth, blood. Yeah. Okay. I've got that here. So first of all, we'll speak about what your card means. So number 2. You are attractive, forceful, erotic, nurturing to a fault. A powerful, alluding personalities who sweep into people's lives and make themselves indispensable. Very desirable sexually, able to different things to different people. It is highly unlikely they will be rebuffed if they set their sights on someone. And why would that be? They are capable, strong characters who can transform other people's lives. Kind, helpful, and nurturing. Their partners and friends come to depend on them in many ways, according them all sorts of responsibility and power. If a question does arise, it's whether they accept they should be loved, supported, and encouraged in turn. Have they simply settled for being needed, closing off avenues because they feel they don't deserve more? If their relationships get stuck for any reason, they might wonder whether they are restricting themselves to an excessively nurturing role, to no one's ultimate benefit. So that's what your card means. And the fact that you could see the pelvis, the erotic has a very good place in your life, or at least there's every reason it should have. You're very attractive and people pick up that signal. All else being equal, pleasure and passion, the whole joyous exchange is at your beck and call. Beautiful nights and radiant mornings. Very interesting. Going to move on now to card 10. This is the card that you selected. Now we're going to do the same sort of thing here. I'm going to move it around and you're going to tell me what you can see. Very interesting card. I think it has lots of images that you can see with these. What can you see? If I turn it like this, you can see two winged elephants. Okay. Okay. That is present on the card. Okay, so let's first of all tell you what personality trait your card means. You are exciting, rounded, energetic, and enthusiastic. Buoyant, uplifting individuals who are very good to be around. Spending time with them gives one the impression that one's own life can be different, more fulfilled, richer in possibilities and horizons. This sense of transformation is partly to do with their work or what they're interested in. The passion of their involvement in their respective fields is invariably infectious, but mainly it's a reflection of their general attitude. They are very capable and approach things with a winning combination of application and enthusiasm. They are full of energy and humour, very alert and perceptive. They confirm the interest interesting fact that when a person is balanced and centered, life reveals itself as a force that is always trying to flow. The more people understand and accept themselves, the more possible that is. So what you saw was the two elephants. So you have a bold, dynamic attitude towards life. You take risks, so you're very alive. Comedian Stan Laurel was a kindred spirit, particularly when he said things like, "If anyone at my funeral has a long face, I'll never speak to him again." So again, that's a very positive card that I believe comes hand in hand with the previous card. Okay, so we are going to move on to card 5. This was actually the first card that you chose. So, take a nice long look. What can you see? So, this way, you see, okay, so like a worm, ovaries, fallopian tubes. Okay, yep, that is there. So, card 5. Exigent, driven, inspiring and visceral. Perfectionists in the best and, at least in so far as it may not make them very happy, worst sense of the word. Permanently seeking to excel, everything they do is marked by meticulous attention to detail and matchless energy. The scale of their achievements, coupled with the fact that they're often thoughtful, good listeners, gives them an inspirational quality, and they are much liked. They can, however, be wound very tight. They feel everything extremely viscerally. Psychosomatic ailments are a bane of their lives. In relationships, they can be demanding, finding it difficult to let people in, and they often feel they're waiting for life to begin. Much of these difficulties stem from a perfectionist's need for control, which, of course, is one of the most enjoyable needs to let go of. So, by choosing the fallopian tubes, you have a sense of stalled potential, of putting an enormous amount into life, and yet still waiting for it to start. Your idea of how things should be, or who you should be with, what you should be doing, etc., is very vivid, and if reality falls short of expectations, your considerable achievements provide little consolation. A philosophical approach, such as the poet Rimbaud's "Aux Suzannes au château, qu'elle means, O seasons, O castles, what soul is without blemish strikes you as trite at best. So I'm just going to write these down for you. So we had card 5, card 10, and card 2. So 2, 5 and 10. You were erotic, attractive, very liked person is what we got from those cards. At the same time, you're very energetic and driven, but you're also a perfectionist, and this is where you are probably struggling. So it looks to me as if you put a lot of burden upon yourself. You have a lot of pressure to succeed and do well. Perhaps you have a family, young children, or perhaps you are young and your parents are putting pressure on you to do something. It looks to me like you have a lot of pressures in your life. And while all these cards tell us that your kind of core traits make you somebody very likable, willing to help people, really kind person, this kind of flaw, perfectionist flaw, is really what's making you stressed and unable to sleep. So that's something we need to work on, because it can be seen as a flaw or not, and it's learning to work with it, and letting go of all those stresses that you feel are constantly weighing you down, and that's definitely something that we need to work on. And I think these traits, knowing what your traits are, will really help you become more self-aware and kind of find a resolution on how to deal with the issues that you're struggling with. Of course, now I find this such an interesting test, and of course there'll be bits of the personality trait that may not apply to you. So take it with a little bit of a pinch of salt, but combine all 3 of those traits that we picked out, and that will get a full kind of sense, a full build up of what your personality is. Of course. So well, thank you very much for coming in today, and if you need any further help, of course you can book in to speak with one of our consultants. It's been absolutely fantastic to meet you and build up your personality profile. Hopefully we'll see each other again soon. Bye for now.